sometimes we just gotta say, sod it, I'm gonna do it anyway. And that is what I did. So I'm going to talk about my Glastonbury trip, what I've bought, the reasons why I bought it, what's the meaning of it. I've got me notes and stuff. And I'm also going to be talking about a famous artist that we came across, which was a bit bizarre, but I'll do that at the end of the video. So here we go. And welcome. Right. So how am I feeling? Right. I went to Glastonbury. We only went for a few hours down there. It is a bit of a track and a drive from Bristol. So I think it took us an hour and a half there and then about an hour back because there were some issues with the roads and stuff. So you know how it is, especially this time of year as well. We visited some shops and I took a friend of mine that's never been there before. So it was a new experience for her too. So I said, come, we had something in mind and planned, but as you know, when you're dealing with an invisible illness, you just don't know what you're going to rock up for. But I was like, I haven't been to Glastonbury for 2 years. I used to like going at least once or twice a year maximum. I used to love doing it. And it's been a while and I've just find Glastonbury, I don't know, it's just getting out of Bristol, going somewhere different, and I just love the place. So I did drop it in that was my intentions. And she's going, are you sure? And I'm like, well, let's just see how I go. And we had plan A, plan B, and plan C. I woke up and I thought, do you know what? I got a couple weeks off of work. The worst, what could be the worst that could happen? The worst could be happened that I've done my own self over and I'll have to take a week in bed. Simples, right? Well, I did crash yesterday. I did crash and it wasn't pleasant, but it was worth it. So what did I get? So where did we go? What happened? Right. Okay, I got my bag of goodies here, and I'll explain. Yeah, it was a beautiful day. The sun was out. The road trip down was lush. We just chatted. I put a bit of nostalgia Madonna on the CD but to be honest, we were kind of chatting anyway. We found somewhere that we could park that was free, so high five to that. Thank you very much, fairy angels, on that. And I said to my friend, I said, look, don't go for the first crystal that jumps to you. Let's have a look around and explore it, right? So, but we went for a bite to eat first in a pub. And I tell you what, I haven't got the pictures, sorry, because we're too busy. But the meal was absolutely lush. And I can't remember the name of the pub. So it was something to do. Oh, right, Old Horses. Let me see if I can find it. I'll have to put the Glastonbury pubs. The heart. Oh. They were really friendly. You could there was a range of reasonable priced food to like you a bit more up there. Food I had like a chicken and bacon sandwich, and they had a plate for it. I couldn't eat it all, to be honest. Town centre, and I should know the name of it because I said let's go here. It'd be fun. How they can't find it? That's just great, isn't it? I'll put it in the description box. I'll have a look and I'll just put it in the description. See, never always prepared for these things, so it's like, and it's just one of those names. I just love the name of it as well. It's really cool. It's an unusual name. And that's bugging the crap out of me. Never mind. I will look it up and I'll put it in the description box anyway to stop the flow of the reading. So yeah. So we went into the Crystal Man shop, which is just just in the side line. Tell you what, he was such a genuine nice guy. He's an older fella, straight to the point. Don't do no messing, right? So we had a look at balls, the crystal balls and stuff, and we had a rummage around and a bit of a banter. I did go back to that shop. Right, I have unwrapped it, so just gonna have to bear with. Right, so here is a rose quartz, right? So when I'm feeling like on a crappy day, in bed, I tend to, you know, I felt I wanted to hold the rose quartz, yeah? So this is the rose quartz. It's a lot of self-healing, self-love and stuff, but it just wasn't wasn't cutting it for me, right? So I was like, I need another crystal ball. I wanted a crystal ball. I got a couple. But I was looking for citron or carnelian crystal to help with energy, especially with fatigue and stuff. Anyway, I chose instead a sunstone. So I bought, which I put by the side of my bed. So the sunstone is, I mean, it's for joyful energy, abundance, and personal power, right? But it's also, it can give you upliftment. And I got a couple of like small tumble sunstones. This cost me about 18.50, 52, 56. I don't know, can't see it. Even with my glasses on, I can't see it. I just wanted something that I can hold and just play with and meditate with, do some breath work, and just, you know, just to make me feel good about myself. So I bought a sunstone. And obviously it'll go well with the rose quartz as well. It's so cute. And I tell you what, when we were looking all around the shops, I was looking at all the citrine balls and that, and I just could not, and the carnelian, and I just could not. I just thought, no, it don't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And then I seen this sunstone, and the lady was lovely as well in that shop. And I said, oh, how much is it for that? And it was like 85 quid. I was like, yeah, that's out of my price range. And she suggested trying the guy down the road. So this is the Crystal Man. I recommend. He's got a load of different types of crystals down there. Real genuine guy. He'll tell you as it is. He says he's more of a scientist than a crystal, you know, to tell you what the crystals are. But he knows his stuff, and he's got countings of drawers and stuff of different things there. I would definitely go in there again, and because he's got a range of price range as well. And I picked up a sun ball. He said, well, we've got eggs here. So he's obviously he wants to make money, but he does give you cheaper options there as well. So highly recommended. But yeah, there's my sunstone crystal, and I can't wait to work with it. Like I said, I mean, I was a crystal therapist. Well, I passed anyway, but I never really potentially used it. So a lot of the crystals I've got now, because after a while you just forget what they are. I know the baseline of certain crystals, and the properties and stuff, but yeah, so that was that. So we done a bit of hunting. I don't know if my mate, she was liking the malachite, which is like a green stone. I think I've got one. And I said, you sure you want that? And then I can't find it. But yeah, she was really intrigued with that. And she bought, in the end, she did buy some rose quartz and selenite. She bought a selenite heart here. Obviously, this is not it, but this is the selenite. Yeah, which is, I love selenite. And it's a great it energizes the crystals, it clears, it clears your chakra, it does amazing things. So it's just like, I love that. Yeah, so I bought that. I bought an extra, just in case I find some more little mini spears. Because when I move, I'm going to have a bit more crystal ornaments in the living room, I think. Yeah, so yeah, that was the experience of the sun thing. Now, right, so I'm not very I wouldn't say I'm very confident in choosing what I wear. I'm a bigger lady, so and have been for a long time. Doesn't help because I'm not as active, so that doesn't help. And probably my eating habits as well. I'm being real here. And I bought some wacky clothes. Yeah, well, not wacky clothes. I call them wacky clothes. So I thought, right, I'm going to go in. I'm going to dress how I want to dress. And I've bought this. This was bought about 3 or 4 years. I don't know. It was a long time I bought this. And I've never worn it because of the confidence of it. Thinking, I feel stupid, I'm a grown-ass woman, older woman, and that. But yes, that day I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna feel good. And I did. I felt good. I felt myself. I felt comfortable in my surroundings. And to be honest, probably out of the whole day, I had one couple that was giving me like, oh my God, what is she wearing type of thing. The rest of it, I mean, Glastonbury, you can dress as you want to dress anyway. But when we went elsewhere, they didn't bat an eyelid, So yeah, that taught me something about not giving two monkeys either, right? So yeah, I'm going to be bouncing backwards and forwards because it's remembering the day as well. Because obviously I've had a day of rest. I'm still ached up, but I'm dressed, showered. I'm going bowling with my family a bit later on. So I thought I'd just do a quick video. I don't know when you're going to see this video, but I'll do a quick video regarding my trip. Anyway, right, let's carry on. So I took my friend into the Goddess Center, which is one of those where you can sit down, just chill. I pulled some cards. It was very new to her. She said, I didn't even know what you were doing. She said, I was really confused. But we went into another shop, right? Was it before? I think it was before I took her up to the goddess thing. And she seen this picture, right? And I'll show you the picture. Bear with, right? Because I have got it. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we are. Oh, that was clever. Hang on. What am I doing? I'm not very organized. Here we go. I'll put myself there. And I'm not very organized at all. So she's seen this picture and she said, who's this? I said, I have no idea. I tell you what, my thing's being funny buggers at the minute. Oh dear, this is so organized now. Yeah, I said, I have no idea. And this is who we've seen. And she said, so this is where the weird story goes. She went, Kerry, she said, that pitch, because unfortunately, there's been a passing, and the chap that she used to go and see and support passed away. but up on the picture, up on the wall was this picture, right? And the chap made a comment to her, which is personal to her, so I'm not going to say. But it got left. So when she sort of come to Glastonbury, she was like, oh my God, where does this come from? I did look it up at first, and I said, I'm wondering if it's a message from this chap, right? Because yeah, he's just recently passed anyway, right? So yeah, you're gonna ask, well, who is she? She has some relevance to health conditions and stuff, right? So she's Frida Kahlo. Yeah, she's right. So she was a Mexican painter known for her many portraits. So I did ask permission before I shared that personal information. But what I found interesting with Freya, and I don't know a great deal about her, I have picked up some stuff, but she suffered from chronic pain. She was the one that, you know, she had a real hard time. And yeah, she suffered from real bad chronic pain. And I thought, how extraordinary is that? I mean, she died when she was 47, bless her. I don't think there's any other pictures of her, but I got that self-portrait of the exact one. It was dedicated as a creature with his own soul. He tender and gentle and put his arms around Freya's neck. It seems the money wants to protect her. In this portrait, as well as known some of the other portraits she painted later, she was using a background, a big curtain of leaves with this background, the subject. Anyway, she's done countless of paintings. Like I said, I don't know much about her, but I wanted to give her a mention because for the chronic era, you know, the chronic warriors, I think it's really important. Anyway, I'm going to take her off because I need to read my notes of who, you know, so. And I've lost it again. Oh my God, it's just, I'm not having a great time. Here we go. So is one of the historical figures who became more fascinating the more you learn about her, apparently, right? She lived a life full of passion, absolute rebellion, and a refusal to hide who she was. So here are some beautiful details about her life and the way she lived. Freya is famous for her gorgeous, bright Mexican dresses, massive flower crowns in her hair, and heavy jewelry. But her style wasn't just for fashion, it was a clever way to protect herself because a childhood polio left one of her legs much thinner than the other, and her accident left her wearing heavy leather and still black corsets. She wore long, flowered traditional skirts to hide her medical braces. She turned her physical limitations in a state of pure, breathtaking beauty. What was I saying to you? What threw me was that we'd done that meetup. See, this is when synchronicity. Now, you might not believe in this, but to me, I put flowers in my hair that day. And then we bump in. My friend's got this mess. I feel it's like a message. And then we find out that this lady has chronic, you know, she had chronic pain herself. Okay. So apparently she challenged you know, listen, I said, sometimes we just got to say, sod it. She challenged everyday rules. Frida, if I've said her name wrong, I do apologize. Frida completely refused to fit in what society expected of a woman back in the 1920s and 30s. She proudly kept her famous unbrow and fainted moustache in her paintings to challenge traditional and beauty standards. She was a fierce independent and spoke her mind and politics and lived a completely unedited life. Her magic home, La sorry, I'm not very good at this. So she spent most of her life in her family home in Mexico, which was painted brilliant cobalt blue. It was called La Casa Azza. I'm gonna try the blue house because she spent it so much more time recovering there. She turned it into a sanctuary filled with tropical plants, Mexican folk art, and beloved pets, including spider monkeys, parrots, and dogs. Today, that beautiful blue house is a museum where people from all over the world visits to see where she created her magic. Freya famously said, "I am my own muse, the subject I know best." Instead of waiting for the world to bring her inspiration, she looked inward and used her own life, her own face, and her own room as her canvas. It's a beautiful reminder that we can build an entire vibrant world right from where we are, even when our physical bodies keeps us close to home. And I can sort of relate to that because my tarot corner, my favorite part of my room is in my bedroom. So I've got so I've got crystals and everything everywhere, right? And I just surround myself with stuff that I love, right? This is my sanctuary place, but it's also a place where I create too. So I could really relate to this lady, in more ways than one. So it blew my mind and I had to share it with you guys because I don't know, I wasn't aware, okay? So the real facts about this is I'm just going to do a break it. The real facts about Frida Kahlo, her health. When she was 18 years old, she survived a terrible bus accident that damaged her spine. Because of it, she lived with severe chronic pain, fatigue, and had to undergo over 30 surgeries throughout her life. Her art, because she spent so much time bedridden and recovering, her parents put a mirror on her canvas bed so she could see herself. That is why she started painting self-portraits. She famously said, "I paint myself because I'm so often alone and because I'm the person I know best." The monkeys, she kept pet spider monkeys in her home in Mexico for comfort and companionship, which is why they appear in so many of her paintings. So I think it's just so amazing that this lady, right? So let's get her back up again. And I'm going to see if I can, I bet you I've locked it. Yeah, I've locked it. Right, hang on. Just bear with. There we go. I'll put her there for the minute until I got to read something else. I just found it amazing and I wanted to share that experience with you, but also for invisible warriors who suffer from pain and chronic pain. I mean, this is a lady that we can sort of look up to, and she still continued doing things that she loves to do, although she did suffer harshly. So yeah, I just wanted to home into that. Anyway, right. We'll get back to my show and tell. Right. So I went into, right, so I wanted some spray for my bed and also for protection for hair. So I went into the Star Child shop. Now, the Star Child shop is the oldest magic potential shop in Glastonbury, world famous for their rows of dried organic herbs, oils, resins, and specialized ritual candles, right? I tell you what, they were busy. They were busy, but the lady who served me, she had time to dedicate that time, even though they were busy. She made the point of helping me pick some stuff, and I said to her, I want protection, so I got it. Here's that. I want some protection. Do you do spray bottles? And she said, no. But she said, what we do, and then she picked this out for me. I don't know what's in it. She gave, yeah, well, she didn't give, I paid for that, obviously. So that's $1.25 each here. I can't remember how much that was. And then £2.35. Right, so I got 2 bottles and spray that I can actually do, like, use for my room. And it was because when I looked at another Glastonbury shop, they done spray bottles, but it was like 22 quid, and I was like, I can't afford that. That's a lot of money just to pay for like a spray bottle. And I have got loads of oils here anyway, but I wanted a specific protection thing, especially when you're doing heavy work and heavy readings and stuff like that. Or, you know, so I don't know exactly what is in it, but they've created their own brand. So yeah, it's like, I can't wait. You know, me and my friend's going to do this. She's going to come round. We're going to do a face mask day at night, and we're going to make some bottles up. And I'm also going to do a bed one for the bed because I do have visual dreams and I do have predictional dreams, but also just like have a bit more calming in the bedroom and that. And I'll probably do, when I go back down Glastonbury, again, I'll probably get some more of those bottles and actually have some other options, sprays for the living room and stuff. Much more cheaper. I think you add a certain amount of alcohol. I got vodka bottle. I rarely drink, to be fair. So I'm going to use it for that purpose alone. I mean, I don't know much about it. I can tell you what I've done in another video if you want me to. But I am no way. This is new to me. So I don't want you to follow me. Do your own research in that sense. So remember when I was going back into like I said about the Sunstone. So I only could manage so many shops. We didn't do them all. We did spend a good few hours down there by the time we had food and stuff. But I started aching up and stuff, and it was like, let's just, you know, get our crystals now, what we were attracted to, and then go home, you know. So that was the plan. It didn't work out that way, but that was the general of the plan there. So I went into Happy Glastonbury, which is a very popular place. They do beautiful gemstone bracelets, but they also got a lot of range of crystals and stuff like that. You can follow them on Instagram and that. Anyway, I walked in, I picked up a Rose Quartz ball, and I was walking around with it. But I really had my heart on this, you know, looking for this sunstone. Sorry. So I said to her, "Have you got a spear?" Because they done like little spears. Have you got sunstone spear? Because I thought it's a bit more cheaper, more affordable. At the time, this is before I managed to find this one. Yeah. Anyway, so I explained what I wanted it for. You know that. You know, I get fatigue, terrible fatigue. I can get anxious, and I can get a bit low, especially when you're feeling crap. You know, it's one of those. So she said, we haven't got this, but I've got a perfect one for you. And it hasn't been on shop floor, right? She said, we haven't even put it out yet, but I think it will go well. So she put it on my bracelet You know, she put it on my wrist and said, look, I think this would be an all-rounder one. Now, I ain't going to say this properly. I know I ain't. So you can see the names of it. But they did send me a text to tell me what it is, which I thought was really lovely, right? So what is it? So it's called, so they've called it Finding Your Northern Star. That's sweet. And here it is. Here it is. It is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So it's got I could probably show you this, can't I? Hang on. There we go. So it pronounces it, because I'll probably say it wrong anyway. So there we go. So it's called green leptolite. It soothes the mind and softens the emotions and calms the anxiety, while citron gently rekindles warmth, hope, and inner shine. Red perlite and carnelian wakes the heart and life force once more, helping you to reconnect with the parts of yourself that may have become overwhelmed or simply forgotten. Giving too much for too long can dull your light. Think of it as remembering a return to the person you were always meant to be. So I thought that was like really sweet. And what's really ironic, right? When I went into the goddess place, when I pulled some cards, it was the card that I pulled is coming home to yourself. How weird is that? Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. That's why I love it. Yeah. So yeah, I just think, so I've got myself a new crystal battery charger. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to be wearing that today for definite, especially with bowling and stuff. I'm going to need a bit of thing, but that's what I mean, it's beautiful, and it hasn't been on shop floors, so they haven't even put it out yet. So I was so lucky. They were so approachable, and the lady, they were just really nice. They were just really nice people. I definitely would recommend that shop. So again, it's Happy Glastonbury, it's called, and they've got loads of jewelry in there. Again, different price range, so some of it is affordable. I mean, others can be a bit more expensive, but if you don't mind spending that a little bit extra, and like I said, I'm one of the first, probably now, obviously now I won't be, but I'm one of the first to wear this bracelet. And I gotta be honest, I did feel quite uplifted with it. Sometimes it's the intent and the mind in it. So, and I had a really lovely day. I got we did leave once we got our crystals and stuff. We did leave in the end. And I was naughty. I ended up going out and having a few drinks, which I haven't done for such a long time. I did pay for it the next day. I did. And I'm still paying for it today. And I'm looking forward to the bowling today with my family, with my grandkids. But I'm also a bit like, oh God, because I know I'm going to pay it for it. But sometimes, and if it means that I've got the rest of this week, then that's how it's got to be. Sometimes we just have to sacrifice that and just put up with the pain for some time. And I'm not saying you should, but sometimes we got to say, sod it, and pay the consequences of it. Otherwise, this illness can own you. It can take everything away from you. I know that's not always easy for everybody. I know that. But I just think that we lose so much of ourselves, don't we, to this illness and that. And I had so much joy. And this might not be for everybody. It's not your cup of tea. That is absolutely fine. But I gained a lot of insight by going there. And that lady, that famous artist, kind of inspired me a little bit as well. You know, she made the most of who she was, you know, and done what she could that made her happy. And that's all we can do, isn't it? You know, we do what makes us happy in the moment. Now, it's not something I'll do continuously, because reality is I still got to work. I still got to balance everything, you know. And there has been sacrifices, because the sacrifice is my home. I didn't get, you know, so I won't be doing my home, tidying my home and stuff like that. So there is going to be sacrifices by doing that. But I think I deserved it. I deserved a trip out. And I love mini road trips. You know, it's used to be one of my favorite massive things to do. I'm not really a holiday person, although I am going on holiday, which I'm really nervous about. But road trips, it's always been those little randoms. I just love it. I just love it. And Glastonbury, I would say, is one of my favorite places. I like to do a random too. So anyway, I'm going to leave that with you, you know. Got me crystals. Got me two first. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. I didn't go OTT spending loads of money, but what I did buy is sole purpose of making me happy, making me feel good, you know, and yeah, it's a treat to myself. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it as that. Have a great day, whether you're resting today, or whether you're saying, do you know what? I'm just gonna go and have some fun. Yes. Right. Take care. I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me.